The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. A man in the crowd said to Jesus, "Master, tell my brother to give me a share of our inheritance." "My friend," he replied, "who appointed me your judge or arbitrator of your claims?" Then he said to them, "Watch and be on your guard against avarice of any kind. For a man's life is not made secure by what he owns, even when he has more than he needs." Then he told them a parable. There was once a rich man who, having had a good harvest from his land, thought to himself, "What am I to do? I have not enough room to store my crops." Then he said, "This is what I will do. I will pull down my barns and build bigger ones, and store all my grain and my goods in them. And I will say to my soul, my soul, you have plenty of good things laid by for many years to come. Take things easy. Eat, drink, have a good time." But God said to him, "Fool, this very night the demand will be made for your soul. And this hoard of yours, whose will it be then?" So it is when a man stores up treasure for himself, in place of making himself rich in the sight of God. The Gospel of the Lord.
The Word of God today is being very close to us and telling us bluntly, beware that God might call you fools. Beware. And He will call us fools if we put material things that we have in our midst, in our hands at the moment, we put them as our God, as our priority in life. We read the first reading, the book of Ecclesiastes, the book of wisdom. It is called too, written over 1,000 years, more or less 800 to 1,000 years before Christ. It is still considered by everyone, even non-Christian, even atheists, like Richard Dawkins, for example. He said, "This is a precious book that you should read. Every single person should read this book, because it opens the eyes of every human person to put his priority of life right." First things first. Jesus in his time never condemned rich people as such, never condemned richness as such, or wealth. He mixed with everybody, with rich people, wealthy people, poor people, sinners, everybody, because he had a perfect and balanced personality. And so he wanted to open the eyes of those who heard him. Yes, material things, money inclusive, property, power, whatever it is of this world, is not wrong or evil in itself. We make it evil. We make it wrong and evil in our life if we give it our first place in life. If we prefer it to God, to our faith, to our family, to our own life sometimes. work and money. It's not wrong in itself. Another perfect personality, almost perfect I would say, because in this world no one was perfect. But I consider after Christ, I consider Saint Augustine as one who struggled over his passions, who struggled to overcome his pride, his fighting for power and reaching for power, his ambition, so to say. And then when he finally found out a balanced way of living and used to preach for many hours, not for a few minutes like me, many hours, long hours, as long as 5 hours, speaking to his people in his cathedral. He had in the front rows the noble people, the rich people of his town, Hippo. And he used to address them directly. Listen, I pray for you every day. You are rich people. And I pray for you that you become richer. I want you to become even more rich than you are. So he was not against wealth in itself. I pray for you. But I pray for you to become richer so that you will be able to give to others. When we are blessed with a good life, with wealth, with richness, with good life, it's not ours. We don't possess anything here on this earth. But it's there for us to share, especially with the needy, to give, to be generous. This is what Jesus is telling us today in his parable about the rich man. What will do? I build my barns down and build bigger ones. But God said to him, fool, this very night the demand will be made for your soul, and this hoard of yours, whose will be then? How many families in Malta are divided because of inheritance disputes? Families, sons and daughters fighting against each other for many years in courts, spending so much money in court and losing the peace of unity of the family because of some property or inheritance. At the end of the day, what are you going to have here on this earth? We say, it's mine, and so pride is there. And we fight each other, and we lose our peace, because the conscience will not leave you tranquil when you do that, when you fight with your brother or sister because of an inheritance left from your parents. So it's a moment of reflection. I repeat, God does not condemn wealth or richness as evil in itself. No, everything that we have in this world created by God and is good in itself. It's how we deal with it, where we keep it in our life, what priority we give it, what importance we give it in our life. Does it take the place of more important things or not? My work, does it take the place of my family, of my own life, my relaxation, my enjoying life, just to accumulate more money and be better like the man in the parable that Jesus spoke about? Or I know where I put my head. Yes, thank God I work for the money, and thank God for that I have it and I make good use of it. And I also am generous with people who need it. This is the way of Christians to live, their richness or their wealth. Let's say the prayer that we have on the screens. Dear God, some days it is so difficult to sort out right from wrong, good from evil. Help us to be open to your words of life and love. Keep us ever aware of your presence and remain willing to be changed and be malleable and not harden our heart. We ask this in the name of our brother and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.